recently given some guilt and observed really interesting things in the body that I was not accustomed to viewing this way. So I was being guilt tripped. Someone was displeased with something I was doing when I thought that it made sense for me to do. And then I could see how they were being passive aggressive and not telling me straight out that they were upset about this and then we can work from there, but making comments several times again and again about this same thing, but not being direct about it. So as this was happening, I observed the body get distressed and anxious and close off toward the other person. And the thought world changed. It's like your thoughts are a landscape, and depending on all sorts of things, the landscape changes and you feel different about it, and it causes you to have other feelings, and then your feelings cause how you're viewing the landscape or how it actually is, in the sense that whatever it appears to be is the truth, in that sense, that there isn't a secret world that no one can get at that is the truth, but that appearances do hold value or hold truth in that manner. And I could see how the landscape of my thoughts was closing off against this person as well, and just feeling boxed into a corner and suggesting things to me that were just so transparently connected to this guilt in that moment. And it was so clear how when you take that personally, it just gets tighter and tighter and smaller and more contracted, and both people are trapped in this, and nothing good can come of this. And right now, I'm speaking on the relative level on which good and bad does exist, because that is also a reality, that having a fight with this person in this context is unnecessary. I'm not saying that being loud or anything like that could not also be the right thing in a certain situation, but in this situation, it was that this person was upset with me, and I didn't have a reason to be upset with them, aside from that they made me feel a way I don't like. That's what it is. That's how I experienced this guilt this time. That instead of just believing the picture that my mind was painting and that my body, that my mind was interpreting my body also to be signaling, I was staying in the physical sensations, noticing how there was some, what I was calling kind of distress. It's still a label, but it's a more neutral one. And I think in this case, that could be helpful also to be a bit gradual about this, because it's not helpful to just always be saying that, oh, all experience is neutral in that sense, or doesn't have any tag at all. So yeah, this guilt that I was given, I'll put it this way, I was invited to be on that same wavelength and also get mad at the other person. But actually I realized right in that moment as it was happening, like, I don't have a reason to be mad at them. It's not helpful to vocalize anything like that. And I can just tolerate this, actually, and not be harmed. Because something like that, feelings, they're not dangerous, though we may think they are. And they feel so acute, and we're tagging them with all sorts of names and things that make us think that they're really powerful. And when you're thinking that you're this tiny little separate self that is completely dependent on thoughts and feelings in that sense, then they are dangerous, because to that little self, they're doing stuff with that self, then throwing it around and confusing it and being all conflicting and irritating and constantly forcing it to do things. But that's just the day in and day out of that small you. And so this is another expression of the liberation of feeling into and knowing, the deep knowing, not the little mind knowing, that that's not you.